Welcome back.
Oof. Look at that.
Code.
That's new. Right. I gotta make them sexy displays, or at least I'm going to make some precarious cubes in a wide format, and then I'm going to copy them twice. And that's
Counting
all.
ties.
Oh God, Santa Claus is coming to town.
We're back.
Yep.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Guess now you come just in time to see the big button underneath the table, essentially done here. Tell me what you think. So hang on. So here it is in full view. What do you think? And you can clearly tell. You can clearly see them from here.
Yeah.
And then it will fit in more when it's like when it actually gets a model where it looks like it's attached to the table and stuff, and actually fits in with the rest of the table. And then you have like this thing you pull down and release it. Like you could literally pull it with a mouse, like you sense it. Oof.
Well, it looks more like a button.
Well, yeah, but it's because I'm
And
not
a
gonna
pull.
fucking model one of those, am I?
Well, you can.
No. So yeah, and then you have the hell dice displayed here and the live dice displayed there.
It's one too many dices.
Is it?
There's 6
No.
there.
Oh yeah, well yeah. So that's at least better than the old button. Dish, dish, dish. So yeah, what do you think? So remember, it's gonna be a bit further up as well.
Yeah. Not quite sold on the idea. But
What is it then? Is it the displays, or is it the button location, or what is it?
well, yeah, that I think it's more the idea that it's a physical button. I think.
Yeah. Well, it's yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing. I kind of I explained why I wanted a physical button because it allows the physical movement of the plate. It allows that sort of interaction. Which is something that would immediately, make sense once you click the button. You understood it. You understood how it worked. It's why like you would have some dice, like a dice cup or something, that when you clicked it, it would roll all the dice. So basically, because clicking on the dice specifically, or clicking on you could have it being clicking on just the play button, this area, I guess. But then you could misclick while you were trying to lock the dice in, and you would end up rolling. So that's why there should be some place out of the way where you can click to roll. We could also have it in the UI and then like justify it as if the player was actually rolling it. God freaking damn it! The goddamn computer crashed just as I was saying something. But when did it cut out? What did you actually hear? What was the last thing?
I don't quite know.
Well, I was trying to say at least is that what we could do is we could go back to having it to trying emulating a player throwing the dice, and then we could have most of the controls and the displays in the UI. And we could be more reliant on keyboard controls, saying like spacebar, like hold spacebar to throw the dice, and like the longer you hold it, the more force you apply to the dice as they come tumbling out, as they come throwing out.
Yeah.
That could work too, as a like more minimalist approach. So, but that would be more on the layer of the actual UI rather than the game layer, which is probably a good thing.
There we go. There's the selection.
Hang on, I need to get the stream back. Give me a little sec.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. Shouldn't it also pop them so that well, it's probably not necessary. Isn't it like more space saving to have them instead of popping up like that? Oh wow. Instead of having them pop up like that, having them pop in in front. So essentially have them come closer to the camera and have them go in front of the other cards essentially.
Yeah.
Because that will allow you to read them either way.
Absolutely. Now there is a problem that I have. Which is the card is currently 2 canvases, and or maybe I can. No, I can't. So. There's 2 canvases, one for the back and one for the front. And I've done so that both of them are world space canvases, and when I, for example, I mean, they have the same order in the layer.
Okay.
Because Unity is working like layer based on these cards.
Oh, with canvas, you mean? Okay.
And let's see. If I were to, for example, okay, so this card is currently the one that I have selected. Oh, okay. I can't actually move them. I will need to make my own. There we go. Base normal card. Add that to the hand, and then another one to the hand, and another one to the hand. I'm gonna move this one slightly to the right and this one slightly to the left. Now, the problem I have is currently, where I haven't done much, is the card who's in the front is the one that is directly in the middle for some reason. Because of how Unity layers.
Oh well, isn't that just because of the camera? Because of the event camera, you have no event camera, maybe?
No.
You need them to stop scaling based on your view and actually scale based on a camera.
Now, okay, I'm gonna show you another thing. This is all the way there, and this is all the way here. That one can be there. I will still have that problem. Hang on. I just need to... When I... move these cards slightly to the left. Now that doesn't work. What the fuck?
What you seem to be saying here is it does work.
Well, something is strange now, because now the layering isn't as bad. But you see here, I haven't moved the card through the other card yet. It's still behind, but it looks like the card is in front.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just seems like you have to put sufficient distance.
Yeah. But moving that so much forward looks strange.
Well, not much forward, like there.
Yeah. How much forward is that though?
Remember, when you see it in from if you're actually going to see it from the camera perspective, and the camera doesn't have like fish lens effects, then it shouldn't look weird at all. It should just look like a zoom.
Well, I can add some C to the hovered hand.
The problem, of course, though, is that when you're reliant on hovering over specific cards and then having them zoom, that then makes it very hard to select the next ones, which is why I suggested the scroll wheel, because it's going to obscure the two behind it.
Absolutely.
So those, in turn, are going to be difficult to select.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely try to experiment a bit and see what works, but I think that's the most or less space consuming way, where it doesn't take up too much space in the UI. Because I think the effect you had where it pops up, I think that's the click. That's when you click it, essentially like locking it in place and saying, okay, I would like to play this, right? And that's when you get to target like the dice or the player, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Is that when you click it?
That's
yeah,
when
it's when you click it, right?
Currently, I have set it to click and not on hover.
Yeah, because the hover one is a bit, it's always going to be a bit glitchy when you move cards that much. And then I only think what you want is when you hover, you want it to the mouse. I think you don't even need to do the zoom. You just make it so that it doesn't have any cards in front of it. Essentially, just have that be the front card. When you do hover, right?
Yeah.
I think the only effect. So what as a player, right? What would you use the hover for? Well, to just make sure you can actually read a card, right?
Yeah.
Just like quick glance a card, right? Just to make sure you know exactly what you have in your hand. And the only thing you need to do then is just to say the card go just a smidgen up, and then have it go in front of the others.
Like this?
Yes. Just even less, almost. Just so that it doesn't remember, like, so because you see the last card, if you select the second to last card or something, it's gonna be, more like that.
Yeah, it's really hard to actually select that card.
Yeah, exactly. That's because of perspective, because you see the second to last card has like more, goes out more, it basically goes out from the center. It's because of the way that you've set it in a 3D plane with essentially a 2D camera.
Mm-hmm.
So you should, Mm. Thomas, by the way, said that he had actually got a solution for this exact thing in his yeah. He said he has some good code where it moves in scales based on which one you look at, where you can easily scroll from back and forth. Why is it that the first card gets like popped up like that?
Because its ID is 0, and I am checking. Well, I'm checking if the same ID is in the ID selector, and I
Okay.
should probably put that to -1 when I start, so that none of them actually pop up. And when I click away, it should be 0 or -1. Now, how did I? Here we go. There we go. I've got a better solution.
Okay.
So, the thing is, you can make, you can have 2 cameras in the scene, but make the player be able to see both. But I made it so that the second camera only can see a certain mask of object that I made. I made a card hand, and all the cards in the card hand are
Cold.
yeah, they are cold.
Yeah.
So that the second camera can only see them, and the main camera can't see them.
Yeah, because that's what's fucking up with the layering, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it needs to adjust itself based on 2 cameras.
Yeah. So if I go and select the depth only here, I will get the other camera's view of all the objects in the background. So in 3D. So if I move, you can see that there's a perspective here. But the second camera, which I can move independently, so I can actually move this to the left, and if you look at the preview down here, it moves to the left as well. So they can actually be offset. I do not know why there's
Look at the chat! So Thomas is literally just is telling you to do what you're just doing now. Look at this.
I'm not looking at the chat at the moment.
Look at my disc. Look.
On your.
So have a transform as a child. Well, I can't really fucking translate this in to English in full speed here.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you've done? The number A one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ish.
Okay, hang on.
Well. There we go. 2 cameras. Both rendering 2 separate parts.
Shooting star, got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I'd be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast, didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't shining like it's neon, rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltration with my strategy. When I turn up, them amateurs have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy.
Man, now, goddammit, now that we have to do the rolling in the UI as well, I really get like panicky and like, where the fuck do I place it? I'm like, there's so much stuff here already. I don't want to mess it up. It's like a bull in a china shop. It's just, oof. Nom. There's nothing like a burn to just burn the anxiety away. Wait, it's still got that weird.
Yeah, it's
Still got that weird like centering of the middle object.
Yeah, it seems that it doesn't want to have set the layer. Oh no. Let's see. Set the layer mask correctly.
So, quick question. Aquaman, that movie.
Yeah,
Any interest?
seen it.
Have you?
Yeah, and 4DX.
Was it good?
Yeah, I liked it.
Was it good
It's
in
awesome.
4DX?
I mean, I'm surprised it wasn't more water raining on me.
But what is actually 4DX? Is it just like rumbling you around, just like oh there?
Well, you sit in a seat that moves in a couple directions.
Oh dear.
It's like four seats in the same connected to each other, and they tilt forward, backwards, left, and right.
Oh, you
And-
just lagged like shit.
Huh? Did I?
I just barely heard that. So what were you saying? Just a lot of chairs rumbling and like moving you around.
Yeah, hang on. I might need to stop that. There we go. So 4 chairs connected to each other. They move backwards and forwards, left and right, tilt. And in the back of the chair, you have like basically some actuators that just punches you in the back. So say, for example, somebody is shot multiple times with a machine gun or something in the back. You will feel it in the back. Or if a character gets thrown into a wall, you will feel it in your back. There's also some actuators at the bottom of the where your legs is. So
I feel like I've been missing out in my entire life of getting shot in the back.
yeah,
It's definitely an experience I feel like I need.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's also wind cannons. So if there's a lot of like flying on a plane, etc., you will feel the wind on your face. They have fog machines, so if there's any fog or they're in the clouds, they will sprout out some fog. And if it rains, they will drop water on you from above, like a tiny shower. And if there's say a water splash, it will splash in your face from the seat in front of you.
What?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah, there's in the back of each chair.
I feel like being
There's
going to Aquaman is suicidal to any electronics you have on you. Then
no, because it's not actual water. I think they're using some kind of water-ish liquid that evaporates a lot faster.
Oh,
Yeah, because
so just water vapors then.
well, yeah, it evaporates like immediately. So after like less than 30 seconds, you're not wet anymore. Kind of feels like. So yes, you will have
Yeah, this
cold drips down your neck or on top of your head when it rains, but after a few seconds, you will still have the feeling, but that it's been raining, but you won't be actually wet in your hair.
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
they also have large blinking lights. So when there's a lightning storm, for example, they blink the light.
Yeah.
Really bright light.
So hang on. So if I want to get sprayed on epilepsy and just like a jarred neck, then I'll go and see a 4DX movie. Is that what it sounds like?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Back to our regular scheduled programming. But man, you need to remember the real estate for the cards here. It's actually quite important now that we are getting a lot of UI elements.
Mm.
So it's gonna take up like what, 1/4 of the bottom like width,
Yeah.
and that's like max. And based on like what I have here, that should allow you to see like what, 4 full-sized cards without it overlapping. And that's like the max hand size for the probably most popular mode. And the other one is 6, which then which would have some overlap. And I'm guessing like the max we're gonna see is like 8 for like silly willy modes. But at that point, I think we need to like, man, we need to innovate. You know, we need to do something new. We need to be like, yeah, why do you always have to emulate like, you know, a card hand? You want to know something? I just thought of something.
Mhm.
Because most people or most games have cards visuals being the thing in your hand, because they emulate the real world, right? Where you have
Mhm.
cards in your hand. But we have unique cards with unique names that is very much indicative of what they do. Now, what if bear with me here. What if above the cards or below the cards, for instance, say above the cards, for sake of interest, their names had like there was a tag with their name on it, and maybe even a description of what they did, right? And then when you clicked on it, the card would boop, pop up. That way you could have like a minimized view where you had all the different card names and you could click on them, or you could do similar concept as the score sheet where you would press like tab or something and you could see your entire card hand like in the middle of the screen, because we have a lot of screen real estate there. So what if Mats idea. Okay, score sheet comes up when you press tab, right? What if underneath there comes like smaller versions of your card all lined up and readable? So if you want to check out all of your cards real quick, that's where you go. And if you want to play those cards, you have them in the corner with only the their name, where you can of course hover to see their full action.
Huh?
Okay, if you look at my screen again, okay, and then I will take the.
That's not right.
Card hand. Yeah, there you go. So, say you press tab, right? The cards you have in your hand come underneath here. And also what should happen when you do that is that there should be... Is that anything? No. This should happen. Like that. So you can quickly reference your score and your cards.
All right.
So that's one way to then we can excuse having the cards be a little bit more folded together or something, right? So hang on. Card hand.
Then what's gonna be in the?
Yeah, I'll work on that. But do you agree that this is an idea we could do?
Well, I need to know
at least
where...
that's a supplement as well. Like that, we're still gonna have a card hand here on the side, but I think this is a way to further increase like the because the tab now is basically, hang on, I need to check my shit, you know.
Yeah, but if you add too much to it, I kind of feel like it's like now it's hiding pretty much basically a lot of the game field.
Yes, but then again, it's the
you will need to use it, have it up more of the time as well.
Well, remember the cards will still be there, but instead of, because remember, if we go with the you scroll or you click to read them, you will have to go through each one individually and scroll and read. But say at the start of your at the start of the game, what you want to do is you just want to have a full view of everything and you read through everything. And then what you do is when you need to quickly, and then maybe you put it up every now and again, but then mostly just to check the score sheets. Maybe we can have them be two separate things. So maybe like another button to just bring up the cards in a similar fashion. Maybe that would be simpler.
Not quite sure.
So, because then it would be, we're basically just putting another tool in the player's inventory to make sure that they can be fully informed when they play.
Hmm.
Because it might be a bit too fiddly to just go through the card hand. Then again, that's only a problem for the bigger hand sizes. You know,
Hmm.
for when you have like a lot of cards. It shouldn't really be a problem most of the time. But then again, we should probably let the player choose when it's a problem or not.
What?
I know, right?
That doesn't make sense.
Ooh, I just realized something with having the rolling of dice button be a hold action where you hold it to release it. Say if we create a buffer, say you have to hold it for at least like 0.05 seconds, right? And then release it. So you can you have you played any of those golf games in like on PC where you like hold down the button to increase the power?
No.
Well, one thing that's a problem there is that if you, because spacebar is a button that is very close to where you normally would have your fingers, also very easy to accidentally press, right? So if we have like you have to hold it for at least 0.5 seconds, which we will of course indicate visually, that won't accidentally happen. Not only that, but it'll also, make it feel like you actually have to throw the dice. So it's got a double, it serves double duty.
Hmm.
You working on doing the culling mask on the cards, the camera?
Yes.
So what's your thought process behind that? Because I saw it. You made it work with
Yeah,
the camera.
I can absolutely make it work. The thing now is that it absolutely works, as you can see. The thing that I have a problem with.
Oh yeah, now it actually comes up in front of the now the one that you actually hover up comes in front.
Yeah.
Nice.
And no matter where on the right, up and down, or left and right axis, it doesn't. There's no.
Well, I just saw some
perspective on them.
Yeah, but I don't know if that was some visual thing, but I feel like I just saw one of the cards that was not in the hover pop up. Yeah. It's just suddenly like after you click the card, the leftmost, rightmost card just popped up in center.
Yeah.
Like,
I do not know why that happens.
And it does like with a delay as well. It's a bit weird.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and it just like randomly organized itself. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I wasn't supposed to be here.
Well, okay. So the thing that I'm working on now is that when I okay, I'll just undo this because that doesn't matter for this when I show you. Okay, so the hand or the cards that I spawn are just in a normal or in the card field layer, so they should be able to be seen in the card field by the main camera.
Yeah.
Because that's what the main camera is looking at, and when I spawn, I need them to be in the hand, but I want them to be orthographically viewed. So I set every card to be in the card hand layer, but for some reason, which I'm working on right now, when I even though the card camera is set to only have the culling mask for card hand, when I spawn the actual cards, they aren't viewed by the camera. So you can see at the left, I spawn the cards, and they have the right layer, card hand. But and the card camera is calling or using the culling mask card hand, but it's actually not viewing the card.
Ow. What?
Yeah.
You sure you're not making this too complicated now?
No, well, the thing is, I think that since the camera is not being viewed, there's nothing to be seen on it. Unity stops it from actually being one of the things to render. It doesn't account for it, basically. So when I update the camera, it does.
What the fuck?
So I basically need to turn the camera on and off. I haven't checked that specifically, but that's what I just figured out, I think. Let's see, camera game object dot act set. Oh, come on. Set active. False. And then true. Stupidly enough. Let's see. Maybe it's too short of a time, I don't know. There we go. Yeah. LOL. It's literally because the camera is not active. There's nothing rendering on it, so Unity just doesn't account for it. In the code here, I literally just setting it to not being active and then back to active again, and then it actually uses it for the rendering.
But
so
weird,
it overlays the cards.
That's a sign of something not exactly being as it should.
Yeah,
I think.
But that's not my problem. That's Unity's problem.
Yeah, but Unity made it your problem.
Yeah, unfortunately. However, I have a 2-line fix.
No, but it's like, okay, so let's go back to basics here. Why is it that you're using the culling to render perspective mute? Because you can only have one culling mask, right? For each camera.
No, I can call several layers, or use several layers.
So because you've been using Canvas for the cards themselves and their locations, right? Their current, well, it's more like the graphics use the Canvas.
Yeah, there's canvases inside the object. Yeah.
Because they're not themselves a canvas, right? They're not themselves projected into the UI. They are a physical object in the game world, right?
Yeah. Even though that doesn't matter, UI elements are actually also game objects.
Yeah, true. But because what I originally thought would do was the idea of just projecting them to the UI layer, essentially.
That doesn't work. Well, I have a layer for UI. But when I can make my own and just use that, it won't clutter up the UI.
True, but it is one of the most important parts of the UI, and it needs to work well with the UI, not overlap things.
Well, I think you're misunderstanding the layer UI and the actual UI.
Okay.
So they won't be at the top, or they will be at the bottom if I say that they should be at the bottom.
Okay, but it's still I still like if you like right now the cards look neat and stuff, but I when I saw you spawn them, they still had that effect where they would like order themselves in like a delayed fashion, which looked weird.
Yeah, that's because they are
yeah, look, that's a weird effect. It looks buggy.
What the fuck is happening to those cards at sea? What? I want to look at this from here. They're not actually moving. The transform just think they are. What?
I can actually see some of the black pixels moving a bit as well. Sometimes.
Black pixels
Yeah, of the corners.
of the cards right here in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't. Well, I can actually
It's
see
very.
them.
I just saw very
Well,
tiny.
you're
bits.
looking at a stream where every pixel might be different. I
No. But it's very.
don't see them move at all. They're not moving.
That was just a bit of a flicker, but all right. But either way, I think that's pretty indicative of a bug and probably the reason why you're having the reorganization issue.
Well, no, the reorganization issue is because of the sorting layer for each canvas, basically. And the problem is they're trying to occupy the same position, and right now I just figured out why they are flickering like like that, because they have collision and they're colliding with each other. I'm putting them inside of each other. That's why.
Yeah. By the way, do the cards have depth? Are they actually thick? Like, do they have thickness?
Slightly. Not much, but yeah.
'Cause it didn't seem like it.
Well, they're very flat. But
probably, if I was you, I would add some thickness before, you know.
Well, they
before
don't
trying
need
to fix all
they
this.
don't need to have thickness. It will just look strange.
Why?
Well, okay.
It looks strange now because remember we will have the draw animation and you will then see that they are basically like nothing thick.
Yeah, well, I can't actually do something about that though, because I'm using the canvas. I'm not using an actual card whose has thickness at all.
Ooh.
You see? So, if I select this card and I have selected that almost at the right card. Yeah, second to last. It's currently behind, but the card who's actually in front is the one closest to the camera. And that's this card in the middle now. But if I wanted the this card over here to be in the front, I would need to either move the whole thing a lot forward towards the camera, so that's the front camera or front card, or the card closest to the camera, basically. Or I could change the order in the layer here. It's currently, all of them are set to 0. If I put that to 1, it pops up as in the front. So now the problem I also have is that I have 2 canvases, one for the front and one for the back, because I can't, if I had the back elements here, if they were also in the front section, but like at the top, so that it's rendered first and then everything else is rendered, the when we flip or rotate the card, you would still see the front. You will never be able to see the back.
Okay.
Because of how you need to adjust the layering. So to fix that, I put both of them into a separate canvas with their own sorting layer, and that fixed it so that they actually have a back when you look at them from the back.
Yeah.
But you still have the C clipping problem. But if I could make the entire card have one, or each card had their own, had just one sorting layer, then there wouldn't be a problem, because then I could put them in the order that I wanted them to be in, and then they wouldn't have that problem. I'm thinking loud now, just saying.
Yeah, I realized.
And I don't think... Can I put the canvas in the canvas? Does that work?
Because what I'm hearing, right, is what I was concerned about, and that is that you've come to you've kind of decided upon doing it with Canvas and with like this live rendering method, and now you've encountered the problem, which is the artificiality of the cards doesn't allow it to work in the way that you'd expect a card to work.
Well,
Because
if you have a better solution, then fire it at me.
Well, obviously I don't, but we do have some resources for that exact issue, right? I don't think because right now you're basically looking to solve it with some sort of hack that works to break something that's broken into working.
Well, it's not broken.
And that's gonna, yes, it is. It does. No. It's not. It's working as Unity intended because it's. But it's not working as you intended.
Of course it isn't. I've been working like what, a couple hours only on it.
Yeah, but I'm saying it like before we start, before we walk down this road and
this specific thing, but yeah.
No, I'm not like criticizing you. I'm just saying we should probably evaluate the road we are currently taking regarding the cards and see if there is a shorter road, more travel, because we are not the only ones who make card game.
True.
Yeah. So, for instance, maybe someone who made this better, made card games before, has a very, very easy solution that solves problems we might have down the road as well. But I'm going to guess that Canvas probably has something to do with it.
Well, I know the canvas is it's the sorting thing for the canvas. That's the problem.
Yes, that's the problem now.
It's not like a problem that can't be fixed.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's if it was that, then that would be a serious problem. But what I'm simply trying to put forth here is that before investing time into fixing a problem, try to make sure that the cause of the problem can't be circumvented.
Well, to circumvent, well, I can't actually circumvent it. The way that I can fix it so that I know that there's no problem whatsoever and the cards won't have that problem is to have a flat plane with an image, but then we need to render each card. They won't be able to have their text updated. Yeah,
but what's the frequency of the update? Because that's what I was originally saying, is that like if you render them out, right? When does that render process occur? Does it occur when we
spawn.
Make the game, or when it spawns? Yeah, because that's no problem then. Because you're not going to live edit the cards, are you? Whilst playing.
Well, I can't render them out as an image from Unity.
Well, do you need to?
What? I kind of felt like you wanted them to.
Not necessarily, no. But I'm saying like, because the the benefit of the way that you're doing it now, right, is an incredible malleability when it comes to the card information, because you could like at this point you could have a card that changes the card. Like you can have a card
Yeah,
that changes the information of another card that you have in your hand, and you see the text update live.
absolutely.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen, is it? So I think
So
having
you kind of feel like it's better to actually use just an image.
well, I probably think that just an image, if it's done right, yeah. But if it's done in the way that I would do it, no, because I have no idea how to do it. I don't know how the Unity works. But I'm saying, like, there should be a way for there to be, on instantiation, it goes and checks the quote unquote database, which probably is just a file with all the card info, and says, "Bam! Here's all the cards." And then you don't have that much information attached to each card, and the card can be a physical, like 3D object instead of a canvas layer. Wait, there's no music on the stream.
Yeah, it ended. Damn it! Stop.
Be right back.
Yep.
Beepity boopity. I'm back.
Welcome back, Eddie.
You checking out how someone else has done cards?
Mm-hmm.
Did they use canvas as well?
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Yeah, that looks like something we need to know how to do. What's being done on the video right now. You there?
Mm-hmm.
How much different was that video and the way that he did it from the way you've done it?
Well, he um okay, so he has two canvases in the scene, one for the hand and one for the game field.
Okay.
So when he drags one of the cards, he just switches that card over to the game field from the hand.
Mm-hmm.
All the card is made up of only UI elements, just like I have, except that I have two canvases inside of a game object. And that's because I want the back to be viewed when you look at it from the back, and look at the front when you look at it from the front. His game does not need to flip the cards specifically. So all he does is actually just to have all he does is just have the 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 UI elements. I don't know. I think I know how to fix it. Let's see.
Okay.
Give me a second here. No, not here.
God damn it, 2 goddamn crashes in a row this early in the day. That's
GG.
not good. Oh, I lost so much progress. Fuck me. Please, Photoshop. P bro, say that you saved. Man, this has started to occur more and more frequently now. I don't like it.
Oh.
It's been like I've been having like these freeze crashes for quite a while now.
Yeah.
But they're getting like more and more frequent. Oof. I don't like it. I think my motherboard is having a hard time. Might be some voltage issues or some shit like that because it's the same sort of freezing that happens if I try to like overclock my CPU or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that it does that really horrible like um repeating sound thing as well, where it just like lags on a sound
Mm.
and you blow your goddamn eardrums out. Okay, thank God it actually saved some. Oh, I see what you're doing here, and I like it. Wow, that perspective really fucks with how the cards look, don't it?
Yeah.
Looks like one of the back cards are massive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! I'm seeing where this is going. You've made like a plane, a 2D plane for the cards to be on, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is relative to the camera, or it's just gonna be static?
Um. Hang on. I need to think here still. I will describe what I'm doing if I get it to work. Uh,
Right. So why don't you do a little closing statement on what you've been doing? Oh, what the fuck? Did it just card just fucking? What the fuck have you done? Oompa loompa whoopity doo. I make card dance for you. What the heck? Why is it spazzing out?
It's because of the spacing isn't correctly.
It's like it's like a rip, like you're trying to rip apart like a rubber band. It's like, "Eee!" And then it just bounces back again.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's a card deck. It looks like a card deck.
Yeah,
Full
yeah,
of
but
cards.
it's not interacting like a card deck would be.
No, I know. I know.
You've done a weird.
I don't know weirdly.
Yeah.
So, the thought is then that each player has their own canvas for their hand. Each card is no longer two canvases and inside of a game object. It's more like a UI element with sub elements, of course. That is one. That is the card. I add that to I've called it handy here, but I add it to a grid layout group. So when I then add it to handy, it automatically adds them like they're supposed to be, like this. Right now, that's kind of bugged, but yeah. I don't know quite why it wants to why it's so strange when I add them like this. It might be because I'm updating the card position, of course, here. So if I stop that, it might put it back because they're fighting each other basically for for setting the layout.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like this.
Interaction stacking, yay!
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 And now I have what? Hello?
Hello? Hello, this is I. Hello?
Hello, this is you.
Hello, this is I.
And now they somehow are rotated the wrong way. Whoa, what? Parent of direct transform is being set by parent property. Procedure setting parent of object. Sure. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Sure. That's this. Okay, sure. I don't need to set that anymore. There we go. And now I'm setting the rotation wrong. Hello?
The fuck are you doing?
Game field card deck. There we go. 90. Set that back to 0. Because I'm not changing it afterwards. Okay. There we go.
There we go.
There we go. Der Viggo.
Oh, see there, that's nice.
Yeah. So
Does it have the click cover to put forth thing? Or?
No, but I have a solution for that as well. I make one more handy, but specifically for selected cards.
What? No, wait. So hang on. Because what Thomas suggested might be working here, and that's exactly probably what you're doing, but which is making a copy of the card you've clicked on or hovered, and then have that like zoom in essentially.
Yeah, I get that.
Because that won't fuck with any positioning or layers.
Yeah, no.
It's a hack fuck. No, actually not the hack fuck way to do it. It's a fairly legit way. It's just tricking the player into thinking that's the card they've actually clicked on.
Mm-hmm. If I remove it out, that is one big card suddenly. Box Colliders does not support negative scale or size. Alright.
Well, don't be so goddamn negative then.
I know, right? That's because it has passed the thing. Okay, right, yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
Famous last words.
I will stop it before it goes that far. But
famous last words.
But yeah, we're 18 over.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. Like, summarize what you've been doing, and then you kept doing something. So,
well, I wanted to finish it.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say anything.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I'm gonna test one more thing though and see if that works. So, yeah, I spawn a card or 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And they all end up in handy. But when
mine a handy.
On a handy. When you drag the card, it should then be moved to the game field canvas.
Yeah.
So say we moved this card, I'll just plop that there. It should go to the field, and it should go properly rotated. And where the fuck is it? It's like,
oh my
super
god,
not positioned where it should be. The grid layout
probably has
group
a
is not
parent
working.
with where the 0 is different or something.
Yeah. Of some reason, the grid layout group here didn't actually do much. There it does. And all of this is just way too big. Way.
No fucking shit.
Big.
You know, that's the bonus of, I guess, of using canvas and shit, and basically having it all be vector essentially. Is that scaling isn't really a problem, is it?
Yeah, no, it's not a problem. Not a problem though.
A way different problem.
Mm-hmm. Copy. Paste values. There we go. That's what it should be.
The fuck you do? Why did the sky suddenly became a card?
0 and the position 0. There we go. All right. That didn't quite. Hello? That's because the canvas hand here, the scale factor, of course, came. Right, so in other words, when I then move it to the game field, I would need to position it on at 0 on the Z axis. I would need to scale it to 1 on X, Y, and Z, and I would have to set the rotation to 0.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's for tomorrow.
Yeah. 5 minutes, 10 minutes later.
10 minutes later. Okay.
All right.
Then
so
what did you do today then?
well, come and have a look then. Why don't you?
I am looking.
Okay, hang on. Let me do fit to screen. Let's see. Fucking screen mode. Full screen mode. Full screen. So, I've basically made this is it's your turn kind of interface now, because I kind of realized that there are two different interfaces that are very different from each other. There's it is your turn interface and it's not your turn interface. So I'll show you basically how the difference is here. So this is it's your turn. It's not your turn. It's your turn. Not your turn. With like a permanent turn timer when it's their turn, etc. And the way that the turn timer is quite happy with actually, which is you can see what's going on here, right?
Yeah.
Is that hang on, let me do this. Is that this is supposed to move along like this. And of course count while this counts down. You can also end your turn prematurely by literally clicking on the end turn. And then you have the dice with the held ones being slightly alphaed out, whilst the live ones being actual full. You can click on these, and then there's this one is in work in progress, but I'm gonna have it like quite a simple one, and having that like fill up this bar, fill up when you hold it. So it's like basically up and down as you hold it. Huh?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I'm probably gonna have to make it bigger. But other than that, what do you think?
Yeah. I like the that it's it has a background when it's your turn. Like
it's a very visual indication as well.
Yeah.
To like, it also helps that. Hang on, I got the where the fuck is it? Yeah, and then this one pops up in this very start as well. so if you're not paying, so basically whether or not you're paying attention, you're getting force fed this information. It's your turn, god damn it. So you don't miss it. And yeah, the background's nice as well. And when it's not your turn, you get to see more of the map, and it's like more chill and like less info, and maybe even we have the card hand come full now. Yep. Like have it like extend fully. Because there's no other, it doesn't need any other space, and it's actually quite nice then to be able to, because then you can basically just look over your cards whilst it's not your turn. Because that's the only interaction you're going to have either way. It's just interacting with the cards, right? So I think that's I will work on that tomorrow. But I'm really happy now, getting really happy with how the interaction is. I think it's a really good idea, the one you had about just moving the dice preview and the dice rolling to the UI, because then we can do stuff like this.
Yeah.
Where it is compartmentalized a bit more. Also, I feel like it adds a lot of weight, because remember, we did say that the focus of the player would be here, and now literally that's all you need to do. Like we can even have it so that you can click here and to hold one dice. So if you wanted to hold the 4 instead of having to go and click it there, you could technically click it here as well, and then it would move. So you had 2 ways of interacting with it.
Yeah.
Because so yeah, I think so. For instance, so if you're a speed player, you know that's what you wanted to do. You would just immediately recognize the pattern there, click it, and then hold and throw, and then rinse, repeat. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
That is it. It's been a weird fucking day with all the goddamn crushes. Fuck. Well. Either way, thanks for watching. Is there anything like you'd like to say before we end the stream, Mats?
Nah, not really.
No. Well, then I guess we will see you guys tomorrow or in the next video. Bye.